When we think about the things that keep our world moving, our railways, our highways, our power grids, protecting them isn't just a good idea. It's absolutely critical. But here's the thing, the threats are always changing, which means our solutions have to get smarter too. I mean, just look at this high-speed line. It really brings the question to life, doesn't it? In a world where vandalism, intrusion, and theft are constant worries, how do we actually secure these vital arteries of our society? Well, the answer isn't simple, and the stakes, they're huge. All right, let's dive into that. Because to really figure out a better solution, we first have to get a handle on the problems with the way things have been done for years. So, traditional fencing, right? It comes with this hidden price tag that nobody talks about. You've got rust and corrosion, which means constant expensive upkeep. Trying to install it on uneven ground can be a total logistical nightmare. And the environmental cost? Well, pouring all that concrete for the foundations leaves a pretty big footprint on the land. So, faced with all those challenges, a totally new approach was needed. And that brings us to this really innovative hybrid solution that was literally designed to tackle every single one of those problems head on. So what do we mean by hybrid? Well, it's pretty much the best of both worlds. It has all the strength and toughness you'd expect from a heavy, rigid panel, but it's delivered in a roll, and that gives it the flexibility and speed of installation you'd get with much lighter fencing. And listen, this isn't just some idea on a whiteboard. This is a real-world solution that came out of a powerful partnership between two industry giants, ArcelorMittal, a world leader in steel, and SNCF Réseau, the folks who run France's huge rail network. They put their heads together to solve a real pressing problem. Okay, so let's get into the first major advantage. Its incredible strength and security. This is where the engineering is just really cool. This slide really shows off the genius of the hybrid design. Just look at the comparison. Rigid panels really struggle with hills and dips, and that can create weak spots. But this system, it just flows with the landscape. And that's not just about looking good. It means a stronger, continuous barrier that needs fewer posts and can take a serious impact. And here is the number that really makes you stop and think. 30 to 35%. That's how many fewer posts are needed. Just imagine what that means on a real project. Huge savings on materials, a massive cut in installation time, and a much lower overall cost. It's just a fundamentally more efficient way to build. Now, beyond just raw strength, the design itself is incredibly secure. The mesh openings are just over 50 millimeters wide. And that's on purpose. It's made to be so small that it's incredibly difficult for anyone to get a handhold or a foothold to climb it. It's a simple idea, but it's a super effective anti-climb feature. But look, a strong fence is only as good as its ability to stand up to the weather over, decades. And that brings us to the science behind its durability, which all starts with this revolutionary coating. It's called Crapple Optimum, and you can think of it like a 3-ingredient recipe for extreme longevity. It's an advanced alloy that masterfully combines the protective powers of zinc, aluminum, and magnesium. So what's the secret sauce here? This is fascinating. Each element has a specific job. The zinc acts like a bodyguard. It provides what's called sacrificial protection, meaning it corrodes first to protect the steel underneath. Then, the aluminum creates a passive barrier that slows the whole process down. But the real game changer is the magnesium. It acts as a stabilizer, locking the whole structure together and making the entire coating incredibly tough. And this chart, wow, this really puts it all into perspective. In these super intense salt spray tests, which simulate the absolute harshest conditions, standard galvanization gives out after about 500 hours, which, is okay. But Crapple Optimum, it just keeps on going, lasting for about 2,500 hours. That's a 5-fold increase in durability. The numbers here really don't lie. And here's the bottom line. All that science translates into a guaranteed service life that is 5 times longer. 5 times. That means way lower lifetime costs, less maintenance, and less need for replacements down the road. But the innovation here doesn't just stop with the materials. The installation process itself is a major leap forward, making it both way smarter and much more sustainable. And that has huge benefits for both project timelines and the environment. The whole process is just streamlined for efficiency. The fence shows up in these big rolls, so you can deploy it fast. Like we saw, its natural rigidity means you need fewer posts. And most importantly, those posts are installed without a single drop of concrete, which completely changes the environmental game. And right there, those installation advantages create these major ecological benefits. No concrete means you respect the soil. That exceptional 5 times longer lifespan, it means way fewer resources are used for manufacturing and transport over the decades. And then, at the very end of its long life, the steel is 100% recyclable. So what happens when it finally reaches the end of its very long life? Well, this is where the story gets even better. About 90% of steel fencing like this gets recycled right back into new steel products. It's a perfect example of a circular economy, a system designed from the start to eliminate waste and just keep resources in use. So, when you put it all together, this incredible strength, the amazing longevity, and the sustainable design, you get a solution that's perfect for a huge range of applications. We're talking way beyond just railways. This is ideal for securing highways, airports, military sites, and of course, critical energy infrastructure like these solar farms. So let's just bring it all together one last time. Economically, you've got fewer posts and faster installation. Technically, you get amazing rigidity and an anti-climb design. And ecologically, you've got no concrete, a fully recyclable product, and an exceptionally long life. It's a win-win-win. Which really leaves us with a final thought. When a solution comes along that offers better performance, a lower lifetime cost, and a smaller environmental footprint, it kind of stops being just an alternative, doesn't it? It starts to look like the new standard for how we protect our most critical infrastructure.